I can already tell that this is going to be a very fun video. The discourse around fashion via social media tends to pull towards very predictable opinions. And one of the most interesting aspects about the fashion world is that the bigger an outlier you are when it comes to your personal style, often the bigger praise that you garner online. In today's video, I asked you, what are some of the hottest fashion takes that you have for 2024? And you did not disappoint in your responses. Let's take a look at some of the best and the worst hot fashion takes for 2024. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Drew. What to do? It's nice to meet you. Let's talk hot takes. The most common hot take that I received from you guys was that most people predicted the return of skinny jeans in 2024. From 2018, 2019 up until 2023, pants have gotten wider and wider and wider, which from a personal standpoint, I have truly enjoyed. But just as the pendulum swings one way in fashion, things have a way over time swinging back to where they originated from. I do agree that 2024 will be the first year in a 2 to 3 year swing in which more people will begin to introduce skinny jeans back into their wardrobe. By more people, I mean the masses, the majority of people, the macro, the fashion community at large. And it's important to make that distinction because there are people who, of course, have been wearing skinny jeans in 2022 and 2023, people who are still wearing skinny jeans right now and rocking it and making it look really good. I can't say if skinny jeans will return to the form and the figure that they were in the early 2010s, but I definitely do feel that buzz around this idea of more people wearing skinnier jeans or just skinnier pants in general. What do you think? Do you plan to explore more skinnier silhouettes in 2024? I think that this is one of the best takes on this list and a great take for 2024. I would tweak it slightly though and say that my prediction falls in line with something like this. 2024 is the year of the first domino falling for the mass adoption of skinnier pants and skinnier jeans. Have you ever heard of opium core? This youth culture fashion movement is currently surging and making waves on TikTok. And a lot of my younger audience believes that 2024 will be the year that opium core takes center stage. Just so we're all on the same page, opium core is a style derived from the ethos of musician Playboi Carti. Playboi Carti and his contemporaries headline this style. From my understanding, opium core is centered around black, structurally interesting, colorless outfits. Some of the brands I associate with opium core, but it's not exclusive to this. Obviously, like Carti and the rappers and the people who have millions of dollars can afford these brands, and the youth culture can't necessarily equate what Playboi Carti is wearing with what they're wearing. But some of the brands that are associated are Rick Owens, Alix, Raf Simons, Chrome Hearts. You kind of get my point. That's the short level overview of opium core. And regardless of whether or not you've heard it or not, it's definitely something that's taking place amongst a lot of young people in the US and outside the US, particularly taking place on social media. And it's definitely very popular. Do I agree with the notion that it's going to take over 2024 and become the dominant fashion core for the new year? No. I think that opium core and the brands that it represents are still very niche, and especially confined to a more darker, more almost gothic, youthful subculture. The idea that opium core is going to take over 2024 when I just had to explain it to probably over 50% of the audience, and the 50% who do get it probably don't wear opium core, at least who watch my videos. But the other 50% who just got the explanation probably still don't fully understand what it is. So it makes it hard to believe that it's going to take over 2024. For me, I'm going to say that this is a bad fashion hot take. I want to thank the submission, of course, like no hate to the, like, it's just my opinion. And if you disagree with me, let me know why down in the comments. Next, we have the year-over-year question, which entails what new, hottest, latest version of technology will most impact the fashion industry. The hot take is, for 2024, AI will have a wider adoption within the fashion landscape, within the fashion industry, than ever seen before in previous years. For example, one of the biggest examples of this is Humane's AI pen. I don't think many people think about this, but in 2024, there was a massive movement of fashion individuals using headphones as accessories, using a consumer electronic product as a fashion accessory, particularly AirPod Maxes as a fashion accessory. Why is this significant? Because to me, it signaled that people want to incorporate electronics and consumer electronics into their personal style. It's not a very hot take to say that AI will have a wider adoption in fashion in 2024. It's kind of comical to say that that's a hot take, but I do think it's possible that something like AI Pen Humane and other new technologies that come out in 2024 could be an early stepping stone for the use of consumer electronics and technology within fashion. I do consider this to be one of the best lukewarm takes for 2024. And what do you guys think about AI being used in fashion? I would love to hear your comments about this down in the comments. One of the most notable trends in the early part of the 2020s is the reduction in popularity of sneakers. The next hot take that I synthesized through a lot of your submissions, no one directly said this, but I'll say it for you. 2024 will be the death of sneakers. Okay, now we're steaming up a little bit. Now we're getting a little bit toasty. From 2014 to 2018, sneakers and streetwear were two of the most popular categories within the fashion world. Fast forward to 2023, and you do see less and less sneakers at the forefront of conversations about great style. Loafers, mules, ballet flats, kitten heels, boots, platform boots, slides, sandals have all become more ubiquitous. So, does that mean 2024 will mark the year of the end of the death of sneakers? Heck no. I think this is a very, very hot take, but I think it is very, very wrong. Sneakers may lose their market share to other versions of footwear, and in fact, we're already seeing that. But to say that sneakers are going to die is an insanely bold claim. To me, it's one of the worst hot takes for 2024 fashion. Let's get a word in for today's sponsor, Squarespace. Are you interested in making your very own website for a brand or creative project? Squarespace offers a comprehensive amount of features to make the website that you've always dreamed of. If you want to sell your products direct to consumer, or if you just want to display your body of work, Squarespace makes it easy to do that and more. Currently, I'm using my Squarespace website as a hub for all of my content and all of my social media platforms. And if you needed a sign to help nudge you into creating your first website, this is your sign. Visit squarespace.com/DrewJoyner for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. One of the more interesting hot takes that I got from you guys is that there is going to be a shift away from maximalism in 2024 and more towards minimalism. Things essentially will get more subdued. And what was interesting is that there were a lot of submissions that weren't just talking about like physical items of clothing. They were talking about hair, they were talking about accessories, they were talking about just overall aesthetics as a whole. And I do think that there is a collective consciousness shift going on that does lend to this take being maybe true. A lot of folks are struggling financially, especially here in the US. And I think it's proven that the tougher things are financially, the less opulence is shown within the fashion industry, the less opulence that's shown within designs and different pieces that are being released. What do you think? I ask you again, do you think fashion will move towards more subtleties in 2024? I think so, and I'm considering this to be one of the best fashion hot takes for the new year. Not the hottest of hottest takes, it's more of like a room temperature take, but I like the take. Another one of the most popular predictions that I got for 2024 is that the Adidas Samba will fall off its mantle as being the most popular sneaker and most popular in the sneaker world. This feels more like an inevitability than a hot take, as there is no sneaker that has maintained the mantle of being the best or most popular sneaker for more than 2 or 3 years. Why? It's just the cycle of trends. No sneaker can maintain its popularity forever. Even though the Adidas Samba is a timeless shoe, it's something that's been worn for generations and for decades, whatever it may be. It's just not going to be a shoe that probably past 2024, it will be the sneaker that it was in 2022 and in 2023. The best, most recent example, if we just look at the 2020s, we have the Nike Dunk Low as being an incredibly popular sneaker. We have the New Balance 550, an incredibly popular sneaker. And I think now we have the Adidas Samba as 3 different brands holding the mantle as being the most popular, the most available, the most trendy, the most it sneaker. And it doesn't mean that the Nike Dunks or the New Balance 550s aren't being worn. It just means that the current meta for fashion is the Adidas Samba. It's a smart take. If you watch my videos, you probably have that opinion from me. It's a smart take, but it's not a hot take. The last hot take of this video boils down to a very niche aspect of women's wear, interestingly enough. But here we go. Okay, so I've talked about this before, but bows have become a very interesting accessory in women's wear that has become really popular. It's become relatively trendy in 2023. And one of the predictions I got was that instead of bows being the kind of cute, subtle little pop of color or pop of flair on an outfit, what if it was something like a feather? So instead of bows, feathers will be that same rendition in 2024. I literally can't find any reference images for what this would look like in correlation to what I see bows as, but I gotta give kudos to the individual who gave this hot take or submitted this hot take, because I think it's this person thought so outside of the box. I mean, not that far outside of the box, but like, I like the way that they're thinking about this hot take. It's something that not a lot of people, I haven't heard that before. Not a lot of people are talking about that. And maybe this individual got it from someone else. I have no idea. Maybe it's a very popular idea that feathers will be there will be some kind of feather motifs in women's wear outfits. But regardless, I think that's a really, really interesting accessory to play with. Feathers, like flowers, something of that sort where it's more organic than just bows. Maybe it'll happen. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? For all of the women who watch this channel, what do you think about that? Fellas, everyone else can obviously chime in as well, but it's very interesting hot take. I like that one. I think that's a good one to end on. To me, it's one of the better hot takes of this video. And I don't know if it's going to happen. It's a good hot take, but I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm kind of sitting somewhere in between. I know that's a very, very anticlimactic ending to this, but we'll see. Should we do a part 2? I would love to hear more hot takes that you have. Leave them down in the comments. This is a lot of fun to make. I cannot wait to read this comment section. I truly, truly mean that. And as always, I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity in 2023. So that means I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity to you from me. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful rest of your day. Abianto. Peace. So what is good post vid? Hopefully you're having a good day today. Here's a fist bump for the one time. Bop. Thank you so much for staying to the end of the video. Here's a second fist bump. Bop. I appreciate you so very much. For the post vid question of the day, talk to me post vid. We need a new outro. We can't have the same outro, you know, spreading peace, love, and positivity to you from me, 2023. It rhymes. We got to have a 2024 rhyming outro. So if you have any ideas for the outro, hashtag PVV down in the comments. I would love to hear it. We'll get you guys what am I saying? Talking too fast, thinking too fast. I'll see you guys in the next video. Love y'all. Peace.